One interview I get asked about a lot is the interview I did with Ronnie James Dio at his house in Los Angeles in 2004 for our first film, Metal A Headbanger's Journey. And you know, I've talked a lot about this film in the past, but after sitting down and watching it again after many years away from it, it made me realize how important this interview was to our first movie. When we set out to make that film, we knew we wanted to talk about the church burnings that had happened in Norway and the role of Satan and Satanism in metal. But Ronnie took that topic to a whole nother level and made me realize that metal has a lot to say about religion, about the difference between good and evil, and the difference between God and the devil, and these questions that are fundamentally human. And it also made me realize that I really miss Ronnie. I'm sure you do too. And so I'm glad that we can share this clip with you. Tell me about what Holy Diver is about.
Well, Holy Diver actually is a really kind of religious song. I mean, it's once again based from a religious attitude. I have a tendency to do that a lot too, because I think that, especially the religion that I grew up with, Catholicism, has gotten itself so far behind the current current method of healing, because it's so steeped in the past, that I've always had to go at them for really teaching by fear more than teaching by love. Of course they teach by love too, but I was always afraid as a kid of the nuns, you know, the big penguins that were going to like smack you in the head with a ruler, which is what they always did anyway. Or the fact that you know, if you do something wrong, you're going to go to hell, and you know, you're going to suffer terribly. And whoa, I mean, give me a break here. What's going on? Here's your God. He's that man nailed up on a cross there. You know, oh my God. Again, it was so much more by fear that I just really divorced myself from most of those attitudes. So anyway, the song Holy Diver is really about a Christ figure who on another place, not Earth, has done exactly the same as we've apparently experienced, or supposed to have experienced on Earth, dying for the sins of man so that man could start again and be cleansed and do it properly. So the same thing happened on this other far distant planet. And all the people on this planet are saying to him, you know, they're calling him the Holy Diver. Holy Diver because he's about to go to another place, to another planet, another world, to do what he did on this place, save people from their sins, or absolve them from their sins by having himself killed. And the people are saying to him, "Don't go, no." There's, you know, innuendos of tigers and stripes and hearts and being eaten and you'll die, and it was meant to be, it was meant to show just how selfish humanity is. That this one form of humanity on this one world said, no, don't go down there and save anybody else. Stay here. We need you. You're ours. That's what that was about.
We're talking about religion, and we've talked to people about religion on this journey, and about Christianity and about Satanism. And Satanism, as you know, has run through metal music, or at least satanic imagery. And we were in Norway, where a lot of these bands take this stuff very seriously, to the point where they burned down churches, and there's been murders in that scene. I'm interested to get your perspective on the satanic content in metal, and also how religion has played a part in the music that you've made.
Well, once again, religion has played a part in my music more from a dissatisfaction, a discontented kind of view, and that I believe that any religion is a great religion because it gives people the strength, some people the strength to go on. They have to have faith, and they believe that the ultimate goal of reaching nirvana or heaven is because they'll be good people. Hey, can't ask for more than that. That's great. Religion should be teaching love, and it should be teaching that that there is something probably higher than we are out there, to lessen our sense of importance. So, you know, as far as religion goes, I've always dealt with it that way, that it's a good thing, but I think maybe sometimes the teachings don't hold true to themselves. Thou shalt not kill, an eye for an eye. No, I don't think so. So that's why for me the whole world is heaven and hell. That song is about that, the fact that we, in my mind, we live in heaven, we live in hell. God and the devil are inherent in each of us. and it's our choice to make. You can take the road to good and take the road to bad. Well, we have a choice. The optimum way to go, of course, is to do the good thing. I totally agree with that. But again, because religion is taught so badly, I think, that I've used it as an example of humanity somehow. I mean, I've done it with other subjects as well, but religion seems to be one that really works. Now, in the music itself, you're talking about generally a lot broader kind of music, heavier, obviously, doomier at times. It just fits the genre. If you're going to write a Gothic song, you're probably not going to write it about how your love affair broke up. So your subject matter becomes a little bit more narrowed. And certainly evil is a great subject. Evil is dark. Evil is something that we know about but don't understand why it happens and don't really ever meet up with the devil. So again, it's kind of having to use your own imagination. It's really the same with a god, unless you believe that it's a white guy sitting with a robe on a chair someplace. You know, obviously it could be an Asian guy doing that, or it could be a woman, or it could be whatever. You know, we don't know these things. So it's good. It lets us use our imagination a little bit. But the themes around evil are just so much more cognizant to the music that we make because of minor keys, because minor keys are so prevalent in most metal music. It's hard to write a song in an entire minor key and talk about, you know, nice things. It just is. So it's a vehicle. It's a good vehicle. In my case, I've done it differently. I've always tried to be someone who has warned people about the fact that there is good and there is evil. And you have a choice, and your best choice is probably not to be evil. This is what evil can do to you. This is what evil has done to the people that I know. Depends on your perspective of evil, though. You know, I mean, drugs are evil. You know, too much indulgence in bad things is evil. Hanging around with evil people is going to beget you to be an evil person. These are the themes that I've tried to deal with in a darker way. Not to say that the devil's lurking around the corner. I'm not one of those who goes to that kind of extreme. I think that has been a problem, that people have taken metal music to that extreme socially. I have tried never to do that.
Because of course we have the satanic phenomenon and the fact that a lot of metal bands have aligned themselves very closely with evil or with Satan and what Satan represents.
It's a symbolism too, isn't it? I mean, it's great symbolism for what they're trying to portray.
But what do you think then about that satanic element in metal?
Well, I'm not a Satanist, so therefore I guess I'll have to give them the right to have their religious belief, because that's what that will be. I mean, really, it's like witches at the end of the day. I mean, witches are normally pretty good people, and you know you only get the satanic end of it that happens that way.
Just turn on, Ronnie.
Yeah, sure.
Flip the mag. And
What's this called?
Slate.
Slate. When I apply for the patent, I want to make sure that the slate. Oh. See, and I'll change this part from the black and white thing to something a little bit more evil.
Just flip them around. Start with white and black.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Drag it. Let me drag it up here. It'll be perfect. Yeah.
Black
And you open it, flames come out.
black and red. Market. So, Ronnie, just continue with your thoughts on the satanic content of heavy metal.
Okay, again, you know, from my perspective, it's always been a warning about it. Look, there's evil, a lot of evil out there in the world. In case you don't know that yet, there's a lot of evil in the world. So that's really the way I deal with it. Others, again, go to the extremes and feel that the symbolism, which is incredible for artwork, for stage presentation, it goes well with black leather and chains and all those kind of things, with lights and pyrotechnics. It's just a perfect medium for it. I mean, darkness and then therefore I guess evil is a great medium for this. It's a great petri dish, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to those extremes where people are, joining the neo-Nazi party and burning synagogues and burning churches or whatever it may be. That I have no time for at all. But I mean, I think it's just because it's again so not known that you can almost say anything you need to. We all know about good, love and be good to your neighbor, but we don't really know what the devil's doing. We don't know what's happening where he's hanging out. Is he there with a slate going, okay, roll him, time to burn another witch somewhere, We don't know anything like that. So you have so much more freedom to create lyrically things. Musically, minor keys are minor keys and rhythms are rhythms, but obviously you must be alluding more to what the subject matter is, because if you're speaking out about how Satan is the coolest guy on the face of the planet, then that's what you've decided to do. But
yeah. So obviously there's a line with you. You think when kids get around to actually burning churches like they have in Norway and feel very serious about this stuff and actually want to make some kind of broader statement. I mean, we talked to a guy who did burn one of these churches.
mm-hmm.
He wants to make a statement. He feels that Christianity in his country has been a terrible, terrible thing that has ruined their society. So
mm-hmm.
they feel quite passionate about this. But you're saying that's taking it too far.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, that's taken to the point of idiocy. It really is. I mean, we talked earlier about metal and violence. I mean, you can't get any more violent than that. I mean, what if someone was inside that church? Maybe there were. I don't know. I mean, you have a problem with Christianity, so you have a problem with life as well. You have a problem with this person being alive because they're in there. I mean, it's idiocy. It's complete idiocy. Of course I have a line. I have a line. I have my own moral standards that I must deal with. And my moral standards are not in praise of the devil. They aren't. And if that puts anybody off about what I've done in my life, there you go. Hey, I was in Black Sabbath. It's pretty hard to shed that cloak, because we as a band never, ever in interviews would say, no, we're not evil. No, we wouldn't do those kind of things. No, no, no way. And when you don't defend yourself and you let people make their own judgments as to what you are, especially with a name like Black Sabbath, then you're going to be painted with that paintbrush and you're going to have to wear it.